Back again here on High School 912 Roundup. Terry Norvell here, Justin Barney right there. We are on site at a big-time 8A clash between Mandarin and Bartram Trail.
Great game. You know, when you think about these two teams, they have not played a lot. They played 3 preseason games. This is only the 4th regular season meeting between these two teams. You have not seen this game. You think of it as a great rivalry, just have not seen it enough.
We got a lot of great stuff on tap tonight on the show. We start out with a history of these two programs, and Justin will get into that. You've got Hayes Carlyon from 1010XL going back in history with a great player. All kinds of stuff tonight, including some special guests from the host school. We'll also have a close-up, Kaylee's close-up. You're going to like that feature as well. And we'll get the winning coach on as this game wraps up. So speaking of history, these two programs, good programs have really good players. Bartram Trail has had a lot of quarterbacks.
The quarterbacks, when you think of what Bartram Trail has done, you think of what Coach Daryl Sutherland has done, it's quarterback. It's quarterback high on the First Coast. And when you take this back all the way back to the beginning of the school, one of the earliest guys there, Josh Sanfilippo, a very good, hard, tough-nosed runner, and that kind of set the tone for what was to come with Bartram Trail. You have cranked out quarterbacks like Kyle Parker, great two-sport player from Bartram Trail, went on to play baseball at Clemson. You talk about Nathan Peterman, he's currently in the NFL. You talk about Joey Gatewood in the SEC. You talk about Riley Smith, he went to Boise State as a quarterback, he since switched positions. You talk about P.J. Blazejowski. Just about every player at Bartram Trail who was suited up and taking snaps under center has gone on to play college football and beyond. So Bartram Trail, whatever they have gotten over there going, it's a perfect system. Quarterbacks have thrived in it.
Not to be outdone, though, Bobby Ramsey, at a couple of stops, Justin, has had some elite players of his own.
Yeah, when you think of Bobby Ramsey, the first name that comes to mind, Derrick Henry. The second name that comes to mind, Carson Beck. 2 generational players for what they accomplished. Start first with Beck. He's the most recent guy. Led the Mandarin Mustangs to a state championship 2 years ago just with an otherworldly season. Named Mr. Football. Only the second Gateway Conference team to win a state championship. Raines has won 3 of those. Mandarin became the only other team to do that, and that was largely on the shoulders of Carson Beck. And Derrick Henry, the name stands alone. He did it for 4 years at Yulee. And when you think about Derrick Henry, to put it in perspective, only one player in area history had ever hit the 3,000-yard rushing mark in a season. Maurice Wells, his junior season at Sandalwood back in the early and mid-2000s. He was a great player. Derrick Henry had a 4,200-yard rushing season his senior season at Yulee. We know what he did beyond. Won a Heisman at Alabama. He's currently in the NFL.
You're absolutely right, Justin. That Carson Beck, he was special here at Mandarin. Speaking of Mandarin, look who we've got. The principal, Sarah Bravo, who was at Inglewood not long ago, but now you're at Mandarin.
That is true. I feel like I just got here. I've been here since the beginning of June.
And you walk into a pretty big game between 2 big teams.
It's an exciting night. Yes, sir. For sure.
You know, Principal, what's the difference in being at an Inglewood and then coming over to a school of the size of Mandarin?
Sure, yeah. So it has definitely been a smooth transition. I was at Inglewood for 5 years, and I honestly feel like I've been coming towards Mandarin my whole career. I was at a school very much like Mandarin as a middle school principal, and then going to Inglewood, now coming here. I feel like I've got the blend of both, and I feel like I'm right where I'm meant to be. This is a wonderful place.
Not only a bigger athletic program, but a much bigger student body, too, to deal with.
Yes, it is. However, coming into this year, we have less students on campus every day, and we're about to open the campus on the 28th to have more students. So I feel like I've got kind of a gradual increase for myself as well.
I'll tell you one thing, though. You're doing something right. When I was walking to the stadium, that closest parking spot says principal on it. So good for you. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us here on the show. Now, speaking of the show, each week we will have a historical look back at a player or an event here in our area that is brought to you each week by our very own Hayes Carlyon from 1010XL.
Thank you, Terry. I'm so thrilled to bring you this week's High School 912 Roundup's historical look back as we honor former Jackson running back Leon Washington, the ultimate scat back at 5'8", 192 pounds. Washington is a player that was a little ahead of his time. The NFL game would suit his style more favorably now. Not that Washington didn't have a productive career. It all began at Jackson, where Washington would cap his prep career by earning the state's prestigious Mr. Football Award in 2001. As a junior, he had 6 interceptions and 1,169 yards of offense. His senior numbers were staggering, rushing for 2,357 yards with 28 touchdowns. He also had 88 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, and returned 4 kicks for touchdowns. Washington would go on to shine at Florida State with over 2,000 career rushing yards and scoring 16 touchdowns. The Jets selected Washington in the 4th round of the 2006 draft. A 2-time Pro Bowl selection, Washington finished his 9-year NFL career with 1,286 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, while rushing for 487 yards and 16 scores. He also was a dynamic returner, leading the NFL in kickoff return touchdowns with 3 each in the 2007 and 2010 seasons. Washington finished his NFL career with 8 touchdowns on kickoff return. Leon Washington certainly had an amazing career, and we're thankful his legend was born in Northeast Florida.
With that, we'll step aside here on High School 9-12 Roundup. When we come back, another special guest right here on set. We go to the athletic director for Duval Public Schools. Tammy Talley joins us next.
High School 9-12 Roundup is brought to you by CSI Company, Duval Motor Company, and Bono's Barbecue.
CSI, headquartered in Jacksonville, is a nationally recognized staffing company with 4 divisions: CSI Professional, CSI Healthcare IT, CSI Tech, and CSI Financial.
The industry has changed a lot through technology, but in reality, it's still people business. The client wants a particular type of person for a particular type of job, and it's our job to find the right fit for that client.
We have a strategic approach, so it's not just about sending candidates your way. It's learning your culture, your environment, the type of people that work well in that environment, and try to find the talent that's the right fit for you the first time.
For CSI, we want to develop a long-term relationship, and we have a lot of salespeople that are still working with the same clients all these years later because they work hard, they do a great job, but they've built that relationship over time.
We've been around for 25 years now, and the fundamentals of our success are our people. That's what this is all about. We're a people business, so we're here to stay.
Being a high school student isn't easy, and sometimes all they need is just a little help. That's the goal of Jacksonville High School 9-12. We are committed to furthering the success of the entire student in academics, sports, and life. To collaborate and support high school students and athletes to reach their dreams and increase their chances for success after graduation. Jacksonville High School 9-12. Academics, sports, life. Established by Airstream Ventures.
Welcome back, everyone. Justin, as always, a lot of stuff going on in our area.
That's right, Terry. It's not just been football on the First Coast. It's been a busy week athletically, and we're going to look at that right now.
I want to touch on a couple different sports here in our news and notes this week. The first off, cross country. Man, Reinhardt Harrison, he has been sizzling. Whether it be cross country, track and field, running the mile, whatever, he has been amazing. Look at Reinhardt's run August 15th at the Music City Distance Carnival in Nashville, Tennessee. A 4-minute, 1.34 second mile, 4:01:34 mile, to not only set a state record, but blow the state record away by 2 seconds. A record set back in 2003 by Flagler Palm Coast Samuel Vasquez. He ran a 4:03.87 back in 2003. So Reinhardt not only set the Florida state record, broke a record that was 17 years old. And switching gears to football, could not have smiled any bigger when I saw this last week. But Max Lakowski from West Nassau. Last week, the Warriors played Yulee, great Nassau County rivalry game there. Lakowski took the kickoff on a handoff from Chaz Davis and broke it, took it to the house, took it all the way back for a touchdown. Thing with Max, he's a senior with Down syndrome, and the score did not count, but you could not help but be affected by Max when you saw this clip, and just amazing. Just a good story, and this is why high school sports so valuable, so important for things like what Max Lakowski did last week. I know West Nassau and Yulee created a memory for him, and the Warriors went on to win that game 7-0 over Yulee.
Another good week of news and notes, and we're going to be bringing that a lot to you throughout the year.
We're joined by another special guest on set. We've got the Director of Athletics for the Duval County Public Schools, Tammy Talley. Tammy, uniqueness is the word, and certainly different protocols getting fans in and out of these stadiums.
Most definitely. So right now, all of our stadiums in Duval County Public Schools are at a 30% capacity. So we are managing that through our cashless system called GoFan. So we've entered our capacity into the system, and then parents, fans, students can purchase tickets mobile, so no cash at the gate. And that kind of helps us manage that with the fans coming in and out of the gate.
We talked about protocols. How has it been accepted? The fan, the student buying the tickets and having to do the new things?
I think the community, our student athletes, the coaches, the parents, they just wanted to get back. They were ready for sports, and so I think I could have told them they needed to ride up here on elephants, and they would have done it just to be able to participate in sports.
Another newness. Talk about virtual swimming and how that takes place.
Yeah, so some of our schools across the state of Florida have come up with it, and USA Swimming actually does it. It's virtual swimming. It allows teams to swim competitively at their own school but against each other, and so they're timed. It goes into our high-tech system, and then the system puts out the scores, and we have winners.
They've done that with marathons as well. They've done that with running, and it's made its way to swimming. So I think, as you prefaced it a minute ago, kids and parents were so ready to get back to sports that they would have done almost anything, whether that's a reduction in games, whether that's a reduction in tickets, whether that's crowd capacity that limits people from maybe even seeing a game or two this season. The sacrifices, I think this year is going to be remembered more about sacrifice than anything else.
Most definitely. We appreciate everybody's flexibility and cooperation and making sure that everybody is safe when they come to the event.
Speaking of working, every week we'll have an academic tip of the week brought to us by somebody named Kennedy Talley. You know her?
I may or may not know her.
May or may not know her. Here is Kennedy Talley with the academic tip of the week.
Thanks, Terry. Throughout this show, we discuss all things sports. We talk the game of the week, the scores from other games, top athletes from the area, and past Jacksonville sports legends. But one thing that we don't want to forget about is academics. All these student athletes are students first. Because of this, High School 912 Roundup will bring you an academic tip of the week, each show presented by Florida State College at Jacksonville. This week, our tip is take a break from social media. If you're going to start on a paper that's due tomorrow, the first thing you have to do is turn off your phone's notification or keep it in a drawer out of reach. Constantly checking your social media accounts after every notification will only distract you from finishing or even starting. It interrupts your thoughts, and you may find it hard to recall ideas you previously had in mind. If you're worried that you'll miss out on the virtual world, you have to realize that it has a real impact on your ability to succeed in the real world. The world where a teacher is expecting you to turn in a good paper. You can always reconnect with your social media friends with just one tap. However, you may not get a second opportunity to correct the mistakes of a failing paper. This is Kennedy Talley with High School 912 Roundup. Back to you, Terry.
Thanks a lot, Kennedy. When we come back, we'll get to the athlete of the week that Kaylee Whitehead caught up with.
Being a high school student isn't easy, and sometimes all they need is just a little help. That's the goal of Jacksonville High School 912. We are committed to furthering the success of the entire student in academics, sports, and life. To collaborate and support high school students and athletes to reach their dreams and increase their chances for success after graduation. Jacksonville High School 912. Academics, sports, life. Established by Airstream Ventures.
Welcome back to High School 912 Roundup. Time to meet our athlete of the week. Here's Kaylee Whitehead with that report.
Thanks, Terry. I'm with Caitlin Schroeder, golfer in the Jacksonville area. How are you doing today, Caitlin?
Good, how are you?
Good. So how did this whole golf thing get started?
Well, my dad's the men's golf coach at UNF, so I was kind of like dragged into the game, if you want to say. I've kind of always been around golf, you know, so I've played since I was little, but I've been like competitively playing probably since I was 10.
Do you have a favorite course that you like to play on here in Jacksonville, maybe alone, maybe with other golfers or with your dad?
It's so hard to pick a favorite course in Jax because there are so many good ones. I'd say some of my favorite are like Timuquana Country Club, Sawgrass Country Club. Those are probably definitely my two favorite in Jacksonville.
So what are some of your most proudest accomplishments thus far?
Winning the Florida Girls Junior twice has definitely been one of my greatest accomplishments. I've won 2 AJGA events this year, which has helped my ranking move up a lot. It really will help me get into some great tournaments, hopefully, over the next few years.
There you have it. That's Caitlin Schroeder, an amateur golfer in the Jacksonville area. For High School 912 Roundup, I'm Kaylee Whitehead.
Super job, Kaylee. Justin, once again, great games all over the area.
Week 3, a very big week 3 on the scoreboard. A South Georgia, North Florida clash. Camden County in the white. They're visiting Raines second half. Camden County up 27-12. Wildcats back up in their own end zone. Joshua Brown throws it over the middle, and Kyrie Hammond with the pick. And he's got blockers in front of him. In for the score, 27-18 Camden County. Wildcats answer. Brown back to pass again. Finds tight end Derek Martinez over the middle, and the big man is headed for the end zone. He is not going to be denied. 50-yard touchdown, Camden County all over Raines in this one. 35-26 Wildcats. A good one at Neptune Beach tonight. Fleming Island strikes first, and they would strike in a big way. Golden Eagles quarterback Grant Travis goes up top, finds Darian Dominic. 80 yards for the touchdown. Fleming Island up 6-0, just 4 minutes in the game. The Senators respond behind Miles Montgomery, our reigning player of the year, the Cincinnati commit, behind his big offensive lineman Mike Bartolucci. Touchdown, 18 yards run, Miles Montgomery. Fletcher up 7-6, but not going to happen tonight. Fleming Island goes to the beach, wins this one 28-20. Fleming Island hasn't lost a regular season game since October 12th, 2018. Battle of North Side and West Side. Jackson in the white, West Side in the red. First quarter, no score. West Side driving. DJ Otis hits Antoine McCray on the out. He heads upfield, 15 yards and a first down. Later in that drive, first and goal from the 1. Otis keeps it up the middle. QB sneak, he's in for the touchdown. Second quarter, Tigers 4th down deep in West Side territory. Jalen Sonnier goes for the end zone, but Afion Miller's there to break it up. Still 7-0. West Side ball at their own 26. Jordan Campbell in at quarterback for the Wolverines. Grayson Howard with the sack, fumble, and Jamion Cox picks up the ball, and it's a big man TD. He rumbles for the touchdown, tied at 7. West Side goes on to win this one, 34-20. Nice at Sandalwood. Big matchup of Class 8A teams. Panthers in white, Sandalwood in the dark blue. First quarter, no score. The Saints driving. Chris Calhoun to Javon Heggs in the flat. Third down conversion, good. Saints pick it up. 3 plays later, Ty McNeil in a quarterback. From the 14, he finds Chris Calhoun for the TD. Saints an early 6-0 lead. Defense strong for the Saints. Brandon Jennings, the Florida State commit, with the sack. Forces the punt, 6-0 Sandalwood after the first quarter. They go on to win this one, 35-0. Ribault in the White Tops visiting the backyard at Lee. This is always a great series. We pick this up in the second half, 14-6 Generals. Ribault punting. Fumble, and Lee recovers deep in Trojans territory. Next play, Kale Zara goes up top to Larry Smith, who gets behind everyone for the TD. 20-6 Lee. Ribault claws back Santana Jackson to Freddie Manning, who gets popped but stays up, and he is gone. One of the best plays tonight. 50 yards for the touchdown. Trojans cut the lead to 20-12, but Lee would pull away in this one. They and Ribault 26-18 loss in the Trojan season opener.
Excellent job again, Justin. When we come back, we're talking to a winning coach from this game.
CSI, headquartered in Jacksonville, is a nationally recognized staffing company with 4 divisions: CSI Professional, CSI Healthcare IT, CSI Tech, and CSI Financial.
The industry has changed a lot through technology, but in reality, it's still people business. The client wants a particular type of person for a particular type of job, and it's our job to find the right fit for that client.
We have a strategic approach, so it's not just about sending candidates your way. It's learning your culture, your environment, the type of people that work well in that environment, and try to find the talent that's the right fit for you the first time.
For CSI, we want to develop a long-term relationship, and we have a lot of salespeople that are still working with the same clients all these years later because they work hard, they do a great job, but they've built that relationship over time.
We've been around for 25 years now, and the fundamentals of our success are our people. That's what this is all about. We're a people business, so we're here to stay.
Welcome back. As promised, time to talk to the winning coach and one of the star players. Bartram Trail, 26-13 winners over Mandarin here at Mandarin. We've got Coach Daryl Sutherland and, of course, defensive back Kevin Weemhoff. Kevin, we'll get to you in one quick second, even though you had the play that ended it. Coach, let's talk about the first couple games this year. Last week, you had to score half 100 to get the win. This week, I know the late touchdown made the score in the 20s. This was a teens game. What does that tell you, those two dynamics, half 100 and basically a teens game? What does that say about your team?
Well, it tells me that we're a team. That's the big thing, is that we can rely on each other. That's the thing we talk about at the end. We all the time as a coaching staff, we say, hey, what's our job? And they say to love us. And we say, what's your job? And they say to love each other. And I said, tonight you guys really showed that. To me, everybody's going to make mistakes all throughout the game, all right, but they've got a band of brothers behind them that they can rely on, that are going to have their backs to make plays like that and to bail us out in the end. It's just, I'd say it's a joy to get to coach this group.
Talk about this game early and how the personality of the game changed. Both teams scored early, took, I think, both opening drives, scored, and then the game held at, 16-13, 19. It held. The personality changed. Did you see that coming?
No, just as we're looking at the game and as it unfolds, you've got two teams that are just competing their tails off. And both teams are forcing turnovers. Both teams are hustling to the ball. And when you hustle the ball, big things happen.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be a dogfight, and it was a great game.
We got a defensive back to your left, Coach. You know him well. Let me introduce him. Kevin Weemhoff, defensive back, late in the game to seal the game. Mandarin is deep in red zone territory. You jumped a quick little out near your sideline. Were y'all talking about that in the timeout huddle? Did you see that on film? Talk about that play you made down the sideline.
I saw the route, and we just talked about stopping the touchdown. The star wide receiver, he did a little a little whip route, and I got in front of him and picked it off.
Any chance you were going to get caught going down that sideline? You're going down your own sideline. You can't get caught.
I kept looking back. I didn't know. I had no clue.
Coach Boy Mandarin, they threw some haymakers in that fourth quarter. They kept getting the ball back. You guys, a couple of interceptions. Don't forget the other one by the Mandarin sideline. Talk about that squad, Bobby Ramsey. No give up in those guys.
No doubt. Coach Ramsey does a great job, and that's something we've known every time we've played them, is that they're going to come out, they're going to be physical, and there's not going to be any quit in them. That's a group that they're going to come out and compete every week. They're going to win a lot of football games this year. We love competing against them just because we know, like I said, it's going to be a hard-fought game.
I had a rumor a moment ago that I think your athletic director is running around here. Is he responsible for this schedule? What do we've got St. Aug, just Mandarin at Mandarin. St. Aug next. Did I see American Heritage? It goes on and on.
Right. Well, I'd say that's a testament to the talent in our area, because outside of American Heritage, we're playing all local teams. So we've got a lot of great competition. We want to try and play the absolute best team we can every single week. A man's reach should always exceed his grasp, right? So we want to try and play the absolute best team we can play. And I think it's, like I say, really a testament to how good the football is around this area, that most of the games are local games then.
Kevin, huge play. It'll be all over for a week. But you guys got deep. You're getting close to that state title. Got deep a year ago. You made the play. How do you top that the rest of the year? I mean, what was that, about 95? You went down the sideline?
I think so. I'm just going to keep trying all season, do my best.
Awesome. Guys, we'll let you go celebrate. Thank you so much for your time after a great game. Bartram Trail beats Mandarin. That'll wrap it up for us. Another week of High School 912 is in the books. Don't forget, next week we take this show to Baldwin High School, Episcopal at Baldwin. It'll be a good one. For the entire production crew and my broadcast partner, Justin Barney, I'm Terry Norvell. Thanks for joining us here on High School 912 Roundup.
High School 912 would like to say thank you to all of our proud partners.